said, there's a place on the wiki for you to put it because I want all of our notes to be viewable by each other, including by our users. And and then I think that's due on Friday, I have to remember, but I don't want to take away from their time. So you guys can go ahead. Sorry. This, of course, is Doug, and you've all met him before.
Could you all?
And he gave a talk recently. This is Jim Long. Jim is or was and is now retired from a position of you are a senior software engineer.
I was the manager of the research department at Chemical Abstracts. He was also a senior scientist there.
And so he knows a lot about software development. He did it for decades as a professional and led projects. And so having him involved with us in this class is a wonderful opportunity for us to learn really practical. And he's doing this of his own time, and because he wants to be involved in something like this and in your education. And so he's here for you, and I really appreciate that.
And my wife wants me at my house.
Yeah, she locks you in the morning, she throws them out and locks the door. And then Christy, I know it's Christy, but what's your last name? Albert, okay. And she is a representative from Youth for Christ. And what's your official position?
My position is YFC Online Coordinator, Director.
And you'll hear a lot more about that. But these are our three people, and I'm going to let them present. So,
Is this the second or third class year that we've done this, Jim?
this is, I think, the third time.
Third year we did the software engineering class.
Right.
And I just wanted to start by saying that Jim Lona and I, really appreciate you guys, having us do this. It's kind of fun because we both had, how many years? I've had 30-year career and you 34 years, and there was things that we wish we had known when we were starting out. And this class, it's been rewarding to us because it gave us a chance to say, gosh, if somebody had just taken the time to, teach me some of these things, I would have been a lot better off. Is that pretty much your experience?
Yeah, and there's a little bit selfish too, as a chance for a couple old geeks to learn something that's going on now too. So.
Yeah, because you guys are doing object-oriented, which there was no such thing in the assembler days and the COBOL days, and you guys are using the more modern tools. Does challenge us because we're both with the Drupal project, which is one of the projects for this class, and with the SecondLife project. Those are like as cutting edge as you can get. And even in the case of Drupal, it's version 6. It's still very cutting edge. In the case of SecondLife, it isn't even version 1 yet. And so this is both, really, actually in both cases, my son-in-law was at Columbus State, and they didn't even offer courses on this stuff. I don't think OSU does either. So you're getting some really good exposure to stuff that will look really good on the resume, and both Jim and I have spent careers looking at young people's resumes. This will look really good on the resume to have accomplished this class and finished well, and the kind of stuff that you're learning for both projects, for both the SecondLife and for the Drupal project. So it's to do with finding volunteers for some of us older people, but for everybody, to be able to find places to volunteer. It uses blogs and video uploads and all sorts of social network kind of features. And that, by the way, is on Drupal. So in your Drupal project, you'll have opportunity for those who select that project to be able to do that. But this time, in this project that we're going to present is some work to be done in SecondLife. And have you guys done heard of SecondLife prior to last night when you saw the video yesterday? Or do you, when you do gaming, do you do any interactive gaming online?
I don't play games.
I don't either, so that's fine. I like it. Okay, except you're going to be a little longer. Okay, yes. Do you guys, anybody else who do any gaming? didn't do any gaming either, but Christy introduced me to Second Life about 2 months ago, 2 or 3 months ago. And actually, you don't want to ever say Second Life is a game to the people who use Second Life. It's really a whole world. It's a very interesting world. And personally, what I see in it is when the web first started. I mean, there was a day when there was no web. It was just FTP and Telnet, okay, and email. When the web first started, people thought this is kind of odd, and there was a lot of tools and things that you could do. And I'm not sure, even when we first saw the web for the first 2 or 3 years, that we had any clue it would be what it is today and have the influence what it is today. Now, I don't know if Second Life will have the kind of, in the way that Linden Labs has built Second Life tool, I don't know if that's going to have, they won't have the same humongous impact as no web to web. But I do believe it'll have someone's disrupting the class. Doctor's gone. But I do believe that the Second Life environment will have a significant, over the next 10 years, impact on the way socialization and people socialize. Now, what you saw in your video, I'm going to turn this over to Christy in just a second, but what you saw in your video was, actually I didn't see that video, we have another one for you too, but it's a 3D world, but you're seeing it in 2D. The sound is 3D, so when you get online and hear the sound, you'll hear the sound in 3D. What I mean by that is, I could hear the voice or the sounds from you talking from over here. I would hear Dr. Scott making his continual chatter in the background. And then when Christy talks, I hear her over there. And as my avatar moves, the sound all moves. I would also hear that faint little fan from the heater up there making noise. But if you have been following the evolution of LCD and flat panel screens, 3D is already in the lab. And what they do there, so you can look at an LCD picture or an LCD screen, and it looks perfect 3D. So it's only a matter of time before that is put into seeing Second Life in perfect 3D. You move your head, you see the 3D things. Also in the movie Avatar that just came out, the way they did that was they used a technology called motion capture. And what that is that the cameras are able to see the movement of the body. Second Life also has a tool, it's not from Linden Labs, it's another tool, but Second Life has a tool where you can not just animate your avatar by using the arrow keys to kind of move it around and it walks the way it walks. You can go into a studio with 3D cameras. They put little reflections on each one of your joints, and then as you move around, they capture your X and Y coordinates in 3 space of every one of your joints. That gets fed into the avatar, and you can make that avatar do exactly the movement you want. And so today, so as you can see, there's future things coming down the road which are kind of weird and kind of neat. But that's one of the reasons that I'm thinking that the Second Life media, this kind of way of socializing is pretty revolutionary. I was the other day and I was asking this lady who